All right, so good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to my Opinion Matters. So, you are now watching my online live stream here on my YouTube channel. It's John Padillon. So, every Saturday, I'm doing a live discussion on the different current issues and also different topics that are related to social science. Okay, so if you are new to this channel, don't forget to click the button, like, subscribe, and also please do share this video to your friends and to other people so that we will have more people that will be well informed regarding different issues and principles, methods, and different topics about or regarding social science. So friends, kamusta? How was your day? I hope that you are doing fine right now. Okay. And welcome back to my viewers. And I hope that today you're going to participate in the discussion. No? Join me in the discussion. So you just need to type in your messages and your greetings or your questions, and then later on from time to time I'm going to read all your questions, suggestions, and also your comments. Okay? So last time it was a very good discussion. So just in case you were not able to watch the discussion last Saturday, actually the focus of the discussion last Saturday is all about supporting learners. We know the fact that the online classes have been has already started, no, from to the private schools, no, from the private schools, but the public school, they will open or reopen their school, their online class on October. So the core of the discussion last Saturday is we were able to understand the importance of the support, no? Most especially this time of pandemic, we really need to support each other. And of course, we really need to extend our help to other people, no? Those people who are experiencing depression, those people who are actually experiencing different difficulties in life, no? That is why they are already experiencing unstable mental health, no? And we really need to help those people and to extend our hands, our ears, no, to those people so that we become an instrument for their recovery. Okay, so let us support, let us help each other. All right. So today there is another interesting topic that we are going to discuss, and the topic for today is all about the word safe. Okay, so the word safe or safety, that this is very important, no? Kaligtasan. So we know the fact that we are in the time of pandemic, and this is actually an issue that we are facing every day in the moment of our lives. How safe are we in our homes? How safe are we whenever we go out of our homes, we go to the market, or we go to other places? How safe are we? So this is a very interesting, a very timely and relevant word or idea that we need to pay attention. The safety. Most especially in an online class, no, in the educational perspective, it is very important that we create a safe environment for our learners. We know that right now the cases of COVID-19 or the COVID infections in the Philippines are actually increasing. Where in fact last night I heard over the news that the cases of COVID-19 infections in the Philippines has reached more than 200,000, and it is still increasing. That is why, my dear friends, folks, we really need to pay attention on the safety aspect. No? How do we make ourselves, our family safe? We really need to follow the new normal protocols. Okay? This is now the trend. The trend is we are actually in the new normal times. According to WHO, we cannot, after this pandemic, even after this pandemic is over, we can no longer go back to the normal practices that we are doing. And I'm sure even if the vaccine will be produced by these scientists and experts or microbiologists, I am very sure that we cannot go back to the old ways. So we need to embrace the new normal. And part of embracing it, we really need to follow the safety protocols given to us by the government. And that safety protocols, we need to understand. We need to have internalization. And we need to practice those safety protocols given to us by the government, by the IATF. We really need to try our best to practice in our daily living those protocols. That is the only way we can protect ourselves against COVID-19. Because when we say safe, no, that is freedom from danger. We know that COVID-19 is very dangerous. Okay? It's dangerous. Where in fact, millions of people around the world have contracted and infected by that virus COVID-19. And the only way that we can defeat that COVID-19 is when we learn how to practice safety protocols, sanitation. We have to practice proper sanitation, proper hygiene. When we say sanitation, you have to wash your hands using alcohol, soap, and water. And you have to do it frequently. Every time or after touching things, you have to sanitize your hands. Okay? So that's very important. So we need to practice safety. We need to wear face masks. We need to wear face shield. Wherever we go, whatever we are doing right now, we have to practice social distancing, at least 1 meter away from the person standing beside us. See? So that is very important, my dear friends. Let us not be stubborn. The reason why the COVID-19 is continuously infecting many people is because we are not following the safety protocols given to us by the government. Okay? We are becoming relaxed. We are becoming stubborn, makulit, because we do not like to listen. That's why, no, I would like to say shout out. I will not mention the name. Okay? There are people who are saying, who are showing inappropriate way on how to wear the face shield and the face mask. Okay? I do not know what kind of mentality those people have. But you are not helping the country. You are not setting good example to the people. Remember, if something bad happens to our country and to all of us, wala, all of us will perish. Remember that this is the only country that we have. That is why we have to do our best in order to support each other. let us support and help each other. So, the perfect solution is for us to really follow what the government is telling us to do. That's the only way. That is the way that we can make ourselves, our family, to become safe at home. Okay? And also, if in case it is necessary for you to go out and go to another place, to other places, you really need to practice the new normal protocols. Okay? That is why safe is the protection from or not being exposed to. That is the meaning of safe according to the Encarta Dictionary. Okay? So we really need to prevent ourselves from being exposed to the threat or virus of COVID-19. That's why we need to take extra care and let us start practicing the safety protocols. Okay? Magsuot kayo ng mask, magsuot ng face shield, mag-social distancing kayo, at hanggang sa lahat, palakasin nyo ang inyong immune system for God's sake. All right. Now, my dear friends, now what is the word safe in the educational context? Because the focus of our discussion for today will actually focus on the learners, no? Of course, this is a continuation of my discussion in relation to the research which I conducted last year on the whole child approach. So most of the informations that I'll be discussing today are actually taken from my literature and also the findings of my research. Okay. So according to Association of Supervision for Curriculum and Development, or ASCD, they are the ones who crafted and conceptualized the whole child approach that some schools are actually using in the Philippines. According to ASCD, when we say safe, that is each student learns in an environment that is physically and emotionally safe. Okay? Emotionally safe. All right? And for student and adults. Yan. So that is the definition of safe or safety by ASCD. So it is very important, no, that we have to establish the environment that is free from physical and emotional stress. So let us relate it to what is happening to our country right now. Friends, folks, we know the fact that there are so many challenges and difficulties happening. And many of us right now have lost their jobs. The businessmen, many of them were forced to close their businesses. So this creates distress. This has already created stress and distress, discomfort to people and to many people in this country. That is why it is very important that the support of the government to the economic sector should be given an emphasis. Okay? The economic stimulus, the different programs, economic programs of the government should be intensified in order to help those Filipinos, our brethren who have lost their jobs, the means and the sources of their income for their family. Support is very important. Now, I know that the government is doing its best, where in fact, this is the second tranche. For many Filipinos, they have received the second ayuda or the second tranche, okay, so to speak. But my dear friends, If you receive the money that the government has given to you, pahalagahan nyo naman. Do not waste the money. You know, I really congratulate, I really admire those people, those poor Filipinos na the money, the ayuda that they receive from the government, ginamit nila sa negosyo. Dapat ganon. We should not use the ayuda or the money that we receive from the government para magsugal. Come on, guys. Grow up. Let us use the money instead, no, to improve our situation, improve our condition in life. Diba? Ibili mo ng pagkain ng mga anak mo. Ibili mo naman ng gamit, no, ng vitamina sa mga anak mo. Or yung kalahati, inegosyo mo. Kahit na yung mga street na mga products o mga street food, gawin mo, magtinda ka. That is the only way that you are making yourself, helping yourself to become productive. Dapat lahat tayo ngayon magkaroon ng entrepreneurial thinking. That's the only way to recover our economy. If all of us will involve in the market, if all of us will put a simple business where maybe it is online or not online, but what is important, we have to participate in the economic activities on our own way. Okay? Now, in the educational system, that is very important. There will be no learning if the teacher, if the parents will not collaborate, and if they fail to create a positive learning environment. What do we mean by positive learning environment? Later on, I'll be discussing that. But some of the information related to positive learning environment, you have the physical and emotional state. So these are actually factors, requirement in creating a positive learning environment online and face-to-face. So sad we cannot do it. We cannot conduct face-to-face. But we are praying to God that next year, in God's mercy and God's providence, we may be able to go back to the face-to-face education. Let us all pray for that. Okay? Now the question is, how do we create a safe environment? So that is the question now. Okay? So how do we create a safe environment? Okay? So there are 7 recommendations on how we can create a safe environment. Oh, by the way, I'm going to read the comments coming from our viewers. So good afternoon. All right, from Azonic TV, hi Sir Wilson, pa-shout out po. Oh, good afternoon. Okay. This is my student, to Alan, hello, good afternoon, and thank you for watching. Okay. So I hope that you will continue to watch and you will finish this discussion. No? So if you have question, do not shy to type in your question and your suggestion and comments. All right? So there are 7 ways on how we can create a safe environment. So let us discuss one by one. No? So the first one, establish a classroom climate which is safe, friendly, and student-centered. We know, folks, friends, that it is not easy to conduct an online class. Where in fact, because I'm a teacher, I can see the struggles and the reactions of our dear students. They are still adjusting to the new normal of online classes, of blended and flexible learning. So we have to support them on their way right now that they are adjusting. They are in the adjustment period. This is a very important time that we have to support them. But how can we support them? First, we need to create a positive classroom climate. Okay? But I'm going to use the word online climate. So the classes, the online class should create in a way that it should be friendly. The approach of the teacher should be friendly. Okay? It should be safe, meaning there should not be there's no room. There should not be room for bullying. Okay? And also the activities or the activities, yes, the online activities should be student centered. It should focus on the welfare of our students. Okay? Now, when we talk about classroom climate, okay, how can we develop the classroom climate? Of course, let us refer to the study conducted in 2015, and it was released by the Sage Journal. Now, these are the factors, very important factors on how we can conduct a positive school climate in our online class. So first is we have to develop to ensure that all our learners, including the teacher, is safe. All of them should be safe from bullying, okay, from verbal abuse, from emotional abuse, from psychological abuse, intimidation, like China is doing. Okay? So that's safety. Pangalawa, there should be respect. Respect is very important for everyone. Respect is very important in order to develop a positive school climate. If all teachers, if all students, the parents, the members of the community will respect each other, there will be a utopia, a perfect society wherein all of us will go to school, will attend online class, okay, smiling, inspired, because everyone, all the relationship is actually based on respect and love. And also, communication is very important. So we really need to communicate well our activities to our students, to our parents. The participation of parents is very much encouraged in a blended and flexible online learning because we know the fact that the interaction between the teacher and the students are actually minimal and limited. So the rest of the interaction and the rest of the responsibilities are now being given to the parents, guardian of the student who are taking online classes at home. That is why it's very important for the teachers, no, to communicate everything step by steps. Proper, appropriate words should be used whenever teacher will communicate to the parents and student, and vice versa. Student and parents should also practice proper communication skills to the teachers and schools. Okay? And of course, engagement. This is also a factor in producing or creating school climate domains, which is based on positive relationship. So engagement meaning even if it is offline, you have to accept questions and feedbacks coming from the parents and the teachers. Okay? And also the teachers should also give timely feedback to the students, okay, and to the parents as to the performance of the students on that particular activity that was done on that particular class and day. Okay? And we need to have academic expectation. Okay? So that is very important, most especially in an online class. We need to set academic expectation. So if we will give activity, okay, or quiz or summative test to our student, we should set the expectation. And we should set high on the expectation that we will give. Of course, it should be realistic because you have to know your students, diba? In psychology, in educational psychology. So we just set the expectation that we know that our student can go beyond our expectation. If there is something that was changed by this pandemic, and that is expectation. Who would have thought that you know how to cook? Diba? Who would have thought that you know how to make a blog? Tulad ng ginagawa ko, I'm not doing this before. Who would have thought that I am capable of doing blogging? Who would have thought that you know how to manipulate computers? Diba? How to repair appliances at home. So meaning to say, the lockdown pushes us to go beyond our limitations. And we are human being. We are actually inclined to adapt and to adjust to certain situations, problems, and circumstances in our life with the help of God. So all of the things that I have mentioned, those are all proven to be important factors that were associated with the student achievement. And that is based on the study conducted in 2015, published in Sage Journal or Sage Journal. Okay? So that's very important. The online class should be student-centered, and we should really create a positive school climate that we will intensify the different factors and domains that I mentioned. Okay? Second is we have to make students feel valued and respected, okay? And cared for, and are motivated to learn, okay? So respect is mentioned again. But this time, let us add the word care and valued. So if the student will feel that they are important to you, they will show interest. Sad to say, my friends, sometimes, mas mahal pa ng bata yung teacher kaysa magulang o guardian. I'm sorry, but that is a reality. Because sometimes parents, because we are very busy, we are very preoccupied with so many things, sometimes we forgot to listen to our children. Empathic listening. That is what our students, our children need right now. We really need to listen to their thoughts and feelings. Okay? Because that's the only way that we can understand why that person, that particular child, that group of students are behaving that way. If we only listen empathically to what they are saying, sharing to us, that is already a big help to them. No need for you to give advice. You just listen. By listening to their problems, perhaps you are actually helping those children to cope up and recover from from the discomfort that they're actually experiencing at present. So we have to let them feel that we are caring, that we are concerned to them, to their needs. And that is the only way that we can create and we can motivate them by means of listening to their problems and concerns. Now, I just would like to share with you this research conducted by Peter Lawson in 2018. Now, the result of his research, by the way, is related to student behavior and academic achievement. Now, what's so fascinating and interesting about his research, okay? It was revealed in his research that behavioral pattern exerted a lot of influence on the learning, and home background also poses some problems in learning. So meaning the behavioral pattern of the student is very important, because if the pattern, if the behavioral pattern of the student is not that established, we can expect that that student will not excel in the class. And in his study, most of these problems that the students are sharing to the teachers are all related to home, to their home. Nadadala nila yan sa school or even an online class, according to this. So what is the solution? We should what? We should promote positive change on student behavioral pattern. So you as a teacher, you as a parent, you have to become a role model. Diba? So we need to promote a positive behavior, a positive change, reinforcement. That's why when you talk about psychology, behavioral psychology, there is actually two important theories on it. First one is the theory made by Ivan Pavlov. It is the classical conditioning, okay, wherein you will create a stimuli, and that stimuli will help that person to behave properly. So if a teacher will create a healthy, positive learning environment, expect that the student will behave positively. If the teacher will be more caring, okay, if the parents will become more caring and loving to their children, expect the reciprocal relationship. The children, the student will do the same. That is classical conditioning. The stimuli should be positive so that the expected outcome will become also positive. Now, another theory in the behavioral psychology that we can use is the theory made by Skinner, and that is the operant conditioning. Now, in the operant conditioning, you need to intensify the reinforcement. So if that particular person has manifested positive behavior, you need to give reward in order for that person to repeat the same positive behavior. And if that particular person manifested negative behavior, that's the time you give punishment. And be sure the punishment will not harm physically, mentally, emotionally the child. That is the problem with the old peoples, with the old Filipinos, di ba? Sometimes they give bad words. They give demeaning words to their children. Did you know that when you give demeaning or inappropriate words to your children, you are actually decreasing the self-esteem of those children? That is why it is not appropriate for us adults to give demeaning, discouragement, words that will hurt badly our learners and children, so that we will not affect negatively their self-esteem. Okay? For those who are tuned in right now, you are on My Opinion Matters. Welcome, and I hope that you will watch the entire video, and please do participate in our discussion. Okay? Let us continue. Now, let's go to number 3. What is the third suggestion? So we have to establish and maintain classroom behavioral expectation. Okay, this is very important. Okay, rules and routines that teach students how to manage their behavior and help students improve problem behavior. So this is very important. Okay, we really need to teach our student to increase their self-discipline. Most especially this time of pandemic in an online class, blended flexible learning, our students, our learners and children should really need to learn how to discipline themselves. And the only way to do that is for us adults to teach them expectations. What are the things that we are expecting them to finish on this particular day and time? Okay, that is expectation, behavior expectation. So you're setting up expectations, okay, in terms of budgeting their time, budgeting their priorities, budgeting their work. Okay? Kasi if you will not set expectation, kahit ano gagawin niya. Maglalaro yan ng Mobile Legend, ng cellphone, ng online games, kahit hindi pa siya tapos. So we really need to communicate with our children, and you need to set expectation that before you will be allowed to play game online, you should first prioritize and finish, meet the deadline. So playing is a reward, and they should understand that. So we need to set rules. That's part of setting behavioral expectation. Routines. Okay? By setting routines, you're actually training them, because habit should be formed. A habit, in order for us to form that habit, it should be practiced every day. So that is routine. Okay? Habit forming. So we need to teach them routines. We need to give them routines. Okay? And most of all, if all students will learn, they are doing the expectation, they learn the rules and the routines, we are actually improving their behavior. Okay? So we are increasing their capacity to be more responsible with their actions, with their thoughts. Okay? And there will be a sense of rewarding, a sense of reward, diba? A sense of fulfillment and encouragement, okay, and satisfaction on the part of the student if they were able to accomplish everything because they learn how to discipline themselves and prioritize things in their life. Okay? Now let's go to number 4. Here you have to provide our student with regular opportunities for learning, and support in teaching students how to manage their own behavior and reinforcing expectation, rules, and routines. Now, in the study conducted by Calderon in 2018, the title of her study is Engagement, Hope, Best Measure of Success. Importance of learners' engagement in school activities related to academic and non-academic. Now, when we talk about learning opportunities, how do we create the learning opportunities for our student? Now, in his study, in her study, the effect, this is the observable effect. Student will become more hopeful for the future. So those students who are actually active and participating, those are engaged in the learning activities, or learning opportunities. They have high hopes in the future. They have positive outlook in life. They are what? Optimistic in life. See? And another result, they have better self-reported academic performance. So that is the challenge right now in an online class. What kinds of learning opportunities that we can give to our learners? We know that in an online class, activities are very limited. But despite of that problem, we really need to give activities, collaborative activities still, okay, offline. Okay, they can do at home by collaborating with other people, their classmates, but they're doing offline the activities. We can still give activities like that. Okay, that activities, okay, may be in a form of academic and non-academic. What is important there is actually we are giving opportunities for our student to learn how to socialize. We are giving them the opportunity to increase their interrelated skills. Di ba? Meron tayong interrelated, intrapersonal, interpersonal skills. That is one of the multi-intelligences. So interpersonal skills is they need to socialize and interact with other people, even if it is limited by this online class. But we need to give opportunity for them to enjoy socialization, interaction, and therefore boost their interpersonal skills. Okay? And the only way for us is to give activities related to such. Okay? Then number 5, teach models and provide opportunities to practice social, okay, emotional, okay, including effective listening, conflict resolution, problem solving, personal reflection, and responsibility and ethical decision making. So this is very important, my friends. Okay. So these are the things that our student needs to know. Okay. So we need to give them, no, to teach them model, okay, as an example, all right, that will increase their social emotional skills. Yeah. So social emotional skills, this is very important. Okay. There are other studies conducted saying that social emotional learning, or SEL, is important, far more important than than the intelligence quotient. Okay? Look at our government. There are actually intelligent people running the PhilHealth, running the different agencies in the Philippines. But look what happened. They lack social emotional skills. So they became corrupt. Diba? How can you manage to steal the money of the people during this time of pandemic? Example, yung PhilHealth. Where is your conscience of stealing the money of the people? That is not your money. It is our money. That is the product of our perseverance, of our daily sacrifices. And then you're going to steal it. Shame on you. So where is yung mga taong yun, they were not able to develop their social emotional skills. So this is what I'm telling you right now, my dear friends. Kailangan ituro sa eskwelahan. Let us intensify and increase the SEL, the social emotional learning of our student. And when we say social emotional learning, what are the indicators or what are the domains? So you have what? Effective listening. We have to teach our student effective listening. Okay? They need to practice empathy. Empathy is one example of social emotional skill. Kailangan ng mga bata ay matuto na maawa. Yung empathy, kailangan maramdaman nila ang paghihirap ng ibang tao. They have to learn how to feel the what we call this, the sufferings of other people by putting themselves to their shoes or to the shoes of other people. That's empathy. That's part of the social learning or the social emotional skill. Another is the conflict resolution. Kailangan matutuhan ng bata how to solve their personal problem. And how can they do that? If they will be guided properly on how to socialize and interact with other people. Okay? Kailangan talaga matuto mga bata makipag-interact, makipag-socialize. That's the only way na matututo sila ng tamang pakikipagkapwa-tao. At kapag marunong na sila ng pakikipagkapwa-tao, more or less they know how to resolve conflict. And they can avoid conflict with other people because they learn the proper social interaction, the proper way of giving or doing social interaction. Diba? We should teach them how to do problem solving. Yung iba, pag nawala yung cellphone, parang gumuguho na ang mundo. Cellphone lang yan. How much more kung mawala yung mahal mo sa buhay. Diba? So, we need to teach them how to solve their own problem. We should not give everything to our children. Sometimes we have to learn. We have to endure seeing our children finding their own solutions to their problem. We have to endure it. Pagtiisan nyo. Pag hindi na talaga nila kaya, doon kayo mag-rescue. Yung iba kasing magulang, hindi pa nakakagawa ng solusyon yung bata. To the rescue na. No, let us not pamper them too much. Let us teach our children to solve their own problems. That's the only way we can teach them the social emotional skills. Then you have the personal reflection and responsibility. So let us teach them how to become responsible citizens. Now, if there are already responsible people or students or learners or children, they are now being what? They are already conscious of their actions. Meron na tinatawag doon personal reflection, di ba? Meron na kasing conscience. In psychology, no, nandun na sila, kine-exercise na nila yung kanilang tinatawag na what you call that? In psychology, meron kasing stages yan kay Sigmund Freud, no? Yung kanyang psychoanalytic, no, theory. Merong id, di ba? Merong ego and superego. Ayun. If you are already using your conscience, you're using your superego. Oh. Di ba? So, the only way for us to teach our children yung personal reflection is to teach them how to become responsible of their action. And if you are becoming responsible, your conscience are actually telling you to do good and not to do bad. See? So conscience, buddhi, konsensya, that's very important. That is the source of our soul, the source of our spirit. Conscience, di ba? Pag wala na tayong nararamdaman na conscience, hindi na tayo tao, tulad ng mga taong nagnanakaw sa gobyerno. Those are no longer people. They are already monster because they don't have conscience already. And we do not want our students, our learners, our children to be like them. So for God's sake, ngayon pa lang, let us intensify in our schools the social emotional skills. And of course, all the decision should be based on the ethical and moral side. In my class this morning, this is what I have given stress to my student. Binigyan ko ng emphasis to my student that we should always practice our moral and ethical side. Diba? Yung ating moral and ethical capacity, palagi dapat natin yan. So kung bago tayo natin na before we do something, let us consult if it is ethical or morally that we should do that. Diba? If we decide on something, we should consult if it is moral or ethical to decide or to do that decision or to give that decision. So ethical is very important. This is the only way that we can help our student to increase their morality as a human being, as a son, as a children of God. Okay? As the children of God. Then second to the last, so you have uphold social justice and equity. Okay? Concept and practice mutual respect for individual differences. Okay? So we have to be a model to our student. Okay? When we say social justice, okay, social justice is being fair. You are being fair, no? You are being merciful. You are being compassionate to your children, to your student. You should practice that as an adult. I'm referring to the teachers, to the parents, to the adults. Okay? So that's the only way. Walk a talk. Be a model. So if the children see you, okay, if the children see you actually can see you doing or practicing social justice, such as you are being fair, you are being merciful, you are being compassionate, okay, they will do it also. Modeling, role modeling is very important, okay? And we are helping our student, by doing such, we are helping them to develop their psychological and social skills. Diba? Yung social emotional skills na ulit na naman. So tayo mga matatanda, sa ating magsimula ang halimbawa para yung mga bata, sila ay makakakita ng examples at yun ay tutularan nila sa kanilang buhay. The reason why some of our students or children are confused kasi hindi nila nakikita yung relasyon ng tinuturo sa school at sa bahay. In the school, they are saying that sugal, gambling is not good. Pero sa bahay, naglalaro sila ng tong-its, so nako-confuse na yung bata. Diba? Tumataya sa loto. So we have to be consistent. The school and the home should have one direction. There should be communication. Diba? So the positive things that are being taught to schools, the positive values, should be reinforced at home. And the only way to do that, if the parents will support the school and the teachers in the school will communicate, collaborate effectively, appropriately to the community. Ganon. And lastly, my friends, we have to develop and implement academic behavioral interventions based on the understanding of child and adolescent development and learning theories. So the behavior, the academic, when we implement, when we conceptualize academics, policies, learning activities, behavioral intervention, make sure that it should motivate our children to go forward. It should not be repressive. It should be ideological. Okay, what do I mean by that? I am talking on the sociological point of view. What is happening right now in our country, kapag may problema, nandiyan ang military, di ba? The approach in order to solve the problem is so militaristic, that is repressive. We are scared. We are intimidated. We should follow that because if not, the police and the military are there. Okay? That is repressive approach. Now, in education, dapat hindi ganon. We should not give what we call that severe punishment, no? Punitive in nature na punishment that will harm our children. It should be idealistic, ideological approach. When I say ideological approach, you have to use the different institutions in the society in order to affect positive change in the society. You have to use the law, but the law should inspire the people, not to make the people scared. Diba? You should explain to the people why you need to practice this new normal protocols. And you can use media, but the problem is nabawasan tayo ng station. That's why nagkaroon ng limitation in terms of information dissemination. Dahil may mga nagsara ng TV stations. Okay, so we have to use the idealistic. We have to inspire. We have to explain to the people. We have to explain to the children. Bakit nagawa mo yan? Bakit ginawa mo yan? You ask them. And you have to give policy, okay, that will cater to the psychology of a person. Kailangan titignan natin yung psychology ng person. Hindi lang psychology, tignan natin yung sociological side ng tao. Siguro kaya yung tao lumalabas ng bahay kasi napakaliit lang ng bahay at wala pang yero. Di syempre kung yero yun, napakaliit yan, di para ka natutos sa loob. Natural, lalabas ka. That is the economic side, the sociological side. So, titignan natin. Kaya siguro sila lumalabas dahil hindi nila kaya init sa bahay. Siguro kaya siya lumalabas ng bahay kasi nabuburyong kasi talagang psychologically, hindi niya na alam kasi we are sociable being. So lumalabas siya kasi talagang bored na siya at ikamamatay niya na yung boredom niya sa bahay niya. So we have to consider the different aspect of human being when we make policies and implement rules and regulation in this country. Natatawa ko nag-implement sila ng barrier sa mga motorsiklo o tapos ngayon, hindi na ginagamit. Diyos ko, kawawa na ng mga ordinaryong tao, yung mga sahod na day-to-day basis, yung mga minimum wage earner, bumili ng barrier 600 to 1,000 pesos, tas ngayon hindi nagagamitin kasi iba naman ang pinatutupad, helmet naman, full shield ng helmet. My goodness, nasaan naman ang utak nyo? So if you are implementing rules and regulation, the law, you have to really take into consideration the sociology and the psychology of a person. Hindi yung ratsyada kayo na ratsyada, tapos hindi naman pala pinag-isipan ng maayos. I'm sorry na high blood ako. Now, according to the study by Saima Rasul in 2012, the name of the study is Participation in Learning Activities and Innovative Approaches to Increase Student Participation. So her recommendation that learning activities should be according to the student's level. So importante talaga na lahat ng ating ibibigay na intervention and activities suited na ayon sa kakayahan at sa kondisyon ng bata. All right, my dear friends. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed the discussion for today. Nag-enjoy ba kayo? Sana. So we are now at the end, the last portion of our discussion. So thank you very much uh, for your for the support, for watching. Remember guys that every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'm doing a learning discussion dito sa aking YouTube channel, John Ahimsa. So thank you very much, Alan, for watching. And I hope that you will continue to watch and you share, subscribe, no? Si ano yan, mabait siyang batang yan, si Alan, estudyante ko yan, tsaka matalino yan, ha? Magaling yan as social scientist in the future. So thank you very much, my friends, ha? And always remember, my dear friends and folks, no, we know that life is difficult. Sabi nga ni Buddha, ni Siddhartha Gautama, Buddha, life is difficult. Yes, that's true. But no matter how life is difficult, always remember that God is always there and God will not abandon us. Sabi nga ni Saint Therese, God alone is enough. So, dear friends, thank you very much. This has been Sir Wilson, your friend sa YouTube, saying thank you very much and see you again next Saturday dito sa on sa My Opinion Matters. So, thank you very much and goodbye. Bye-bye.